about high school. I know it just seemed like yesterday we were talking about, I was talking to Danny earlier, it seemed like yesterday we were talking about 6th grade. But, and it goes pretty fast. I do feel, since some of you I knew as kids and taught you, it seems even stranger, but as parents, those of you that are parents, we've known each other for a long time. I do want to welcome you here. I'm going to introduce my 8th grade counselor and also 7th grade, half the alphabet. Gail Roden, you'll be continuing to talk with her. I'll let her introduce everybody else. Is Tricia here?
Yes.
Okay. But I'll let her introduce the counselors. They'll give you the information, and it's a lot of information, so I don't want to take up any more time. But thank you for being here. If you have any questions, any of us will be available to help.
Yes, thank you for being here. I'm excited to see a big crowd and a lot of our students here. We have the 2 high school counselors who are here to explain everything to you. They're also going to meet with your students tomorrow in this room, explain things to them. I've been working with them for the past month on some career activities, trying to kind of get them ready to make some choices about courses and career pathways. So I'm going to turn it over to them. They're going to spend the next 3 days with their kids, and so they're going to help them get registered for 9th grade classes. Later on in the spring, after STAR, we're going to work on their 4-year graduation plans. But we're not going to worry about that now. We're just going to kind of think about just next year. Okay? So this is Carl Riley, Whitney Russell, our 2 high school counselors. Okay.
Hi, it's really great to be with y'all this evening. I have alphabet A through L, and Whitney has M through Z, and we are so excited to be here with you and to go through this transition to high school. So we want to welcome you for this meeting tonight. We felt like there were some important things for you to know. Sit the clip. As you go into high school, how many of y'all have high school students right now? Okay, so you're going to hit a whole bunch of, as y'all know that have high school students, you're going to hit new terminology because high school doesn't exactly work as grades, although we have freshmen, sophomore, junior, seniors. High school graduation and your classification is determined by credits. So when you're looking at it, finally, the state, as you know, changed to foundations, and we've had part of our kids on foundations and part on the old recommended. This year's seniors are the last ones on recommended. So next year with your kids, Ms. Russell, next year with your kids, all of the high school kids will be on the same program, and that program is called the Foundations Program with multidisciplinary endorsement, because everybody is on the same graduation program, but you have different endorsements. In order to graduate, they're going to need 4 credits of English, 4 credits of math, 4 credits of science, 4 of social studies. That's what we call the core. They're going to need 2 credits consecutive, 1 and 2, of a foreign language. They need 1 credit in PE, 1 credit in fine arts, a half credit in speech, or you might hear it called professional communications. It's the same thing. And then they need 5.5 what we call electives. Under the foundation program, their electives will be filled first with their career pathway, and we'll show you that in just a minute. Some important things but they need 26 total to graduate. That's your magic number. Some other things that we wanted to cover with you is that everybody enrolls for 8 credits. 8 credits equates to 8 periods. But in high school, a full year class is 1 credit. So some classes are only 1 semester. So they're a half credit. So when they're registering and looking at the courses, how many of y'all are breezing through, kind of looking at the description in the course guide? You'll notice it'll say if it's worth 1 credit or if it's worth a half credit. So if they sign up for a half credit class, they must sign up for another class that's a half credit so they'll have a full year. So if you signed up for 7 classes and your last one was a half, you must have another half to equal A. Does that make sense to you? Okay. Okay. We've got a lot of big things to think about. Y'all are taking, some of your children are taking pre-AP classes now. And that's to prepare them because they can either take, when we refer to regular classes, I want you to understand those are still college prep classes. But a child can sign up for regular or pre-AP in certain courses. Now, pre-AP in high school is a lot more involved. Each year they grow because you're prepping them for AP coursework. So it gets more strenuous each year that they have. So pre-AP in high school is more strenuous what they had in middle school. So the classes that you're going to see they're going to be on grade level for the regular college prep, standard expectations, and some homework. And then when you get into pre-AP, you're looking at advanced grade level, you're looking at higher expectations, pace, more in depth. It's more, they're exploring, they're discovering on their own, and more outside learning, which equates to reading and writing. I think writing is a key component in pre-AP. The courses that they can take pre-AP, and they might have had some, so you'll see that slash, English 1, algebra, or geometry if they had algebra in middle school, biology, and world geography. Those are the pre-AP courses that we offer at the freshman level. In the foreign language area, we're going to be offering Spanish next year. Remember I told you that they needed 2 consecutive years. So they can go ahead and start their Spanish. We offer Spanish 1, Spanish 1 pre-AP, and Spanish 1 for native speakers. So there's an option there on which course to take. One of the things that we encourage kids to get their requirements out of the way those first couple of years because there's more options on electives than later. So it's better if you kind of take care of business first, except for your pathways you need to be taking some each year.
One thing, I'm just going to throw in, sorry, for the native speaker Spanish, you can get 2 Spanish credits in 1 year if you are a native speaker, if that is your primary language. So you only actually take 1 year, but they cover a full year of Spanish each semester. So it will end up with 2 credits at the end. Yes.
And so when we're looking at PE, remember I told you they needed 1 credit or 1 year. There are different options in order to gain PE credit. You can get it through athletics, ROTC, a regular PE class, or band. If you're doing PE through band, only the fall marching season counts towards PE, so they will need 2 years of band to complete their PE. The other half counts as a fine art. So 2 years will take care of their PE requirement and their fine art requirement. Okay. So fine arts, let's talk about those. They're going to need 1 credit there. Again, if it's band, 2 years. They can do theater, they can do digital art, they can do choir, or they can do music appreciation. Those are the options to meet their fine arts requirements. Which other elective should they choose? Well, that's going to depend on the career pathway that they're on. So let's talk a little minute about the career pathways. At Rockport-Fulton, we are offering the career pathways in architecture and construction, manufacturing, health science, hospitality and tourism, and arts and audiovisual and graphics. Now, your child may be going into another area for their career. So they're going to, if they are, they may be wanting to choose one of them that we're offering that they enjoy, or that might tie in some way to the career that they're choosing. So, of those, and you can see the way the book is set up, it will walk you through that. So under those pathways, it's going to give you the electives. And you'll notice in high school, you're going to see prerequisite. That means that they have to have whatever class was the prerequisite before they can take it. So the beginning classes, the entry-level classes that they would take first before they could take, say they wanted to take animation. They can't start out there. There's some first-level classes they have to take first. The other electives that aren't on there, you're going to find human services, interdisciplinary studies, athletic training. I couldn't read that upside down. The other electives count as electives, they're just not the ones to meet their career pathway. So as Gail is working with them on their 4-year plan, that's what they'll be doing, is planning. You always want to plan with the end in mind. So they're looking at introductory classes when they enter high school, but as she's going through that 4-year plan, she's going to be working through to make sure that they get all of those career pathways in each year. Because several of the career pathways end up being more than one period, such as welding. So by the time they get to the top level, they're going to need more space and course space in their schedule.
Yeah, I know.
The health science, that class, so y'all know, is taught at Aransas Pass. So if they are taking that class, they will be taking a bus over there to take the class. Just heads up on that. Yeah, that's what I was supposed to do. The other thing that I wanted is, any of y'all have children that are going to be active in the GT program next year, one of their electives must be interdisciplinary studies. That's part of the GT program, so one of their electives has to be that. So I think as you're adding, as we're going through this, and you're adding up 4 cores, you're an athlete, they might be in band for the fine arts, that leaves them filling the IDS. Yes, ma'am.
Once they take a pathway, what if they want to change it?
They're not locked their freshman year. Okay, but you're going to come to a certain point by the sophomore year, going to the end of the sophomore, that it's too late. They can't get in the prereqs to get to the end. That's the reason they want to choose that carefully. Okay? I know, it's... I think that's probably pretty consistent with when it came out from the legislatures. But you have to remember, part of this is not locking a child into it, it's giving them exposure. Most of y'all are not alive when I went to college, but I'm going to share this with you because I've worked with high school students for 40 years. In that time, I could go to college and I could change my major a couple of times. How many of y'all have kids in college? It's an expensive proposition to make that change in college, and that was part of it. We had kids that had parents had student loans. The legislature was concerned about it because the kids weren't graduating on time. They were staying in college 7, 8 years, and it was costing a lot of debt for them. So that was part of why our legislature said, you know, we really, and if y'all have been, if you think back when you're in high school, education is a pendulum, and it changes. It was probably 12 years ago that we were on a pathway that everybody was college bound. Now they came back and said, no, we took out a lot of career tech classes. Now they put it back in the last 4 years, and we're scrapping to get those career tech back in to meet those endorsements. So it kind of goes both ways, but it is the program your child's on. So yes, there is time, and that's the reason I really want to tell you what a great job your counselor has done. She has done hours of work in career information and planning with your child, which will continue as we register them and then when they look at their 4-year plan. But could they, and there might be a class that they sign up for that they don't get, that we're gonna cover that with you too. So that may change their pathway, and it may be that they take it the next year. So, if you're looking at what your child's gonna be looking at, tomorrow when we're working with them, they're gonna have a sheet of paper, which we guarantee if you had an 8th grader last year, will not be purple, because we couldn't read it and stuff, but on this, we will walk them through. Okay, we're gonna do English first. You're gonna sign up for an English class. What math are you taking? What science? What foreign language? What history? What PE? What fine art? Now we're to your electives. And the slash means they're taking 2.5 or half credits. So then they're going to look at what they need to do to fill up their 8 courses or their 8 credits. Okay? So this is what your child will look at tomorrow. Ms. Russell and I have homework tomorrow night because we will be taking all of those, dividing them up by our alpha, and we will be proving to make sure that they signed up correctly. Okay? The next day, we'll be coming in with them and entering it into Skype. If you're wanting to change something, and you think, oh no, we've done a career, we thought about that, we want to make a change, let's talk to you a little bit about that. You can do that, but we want you to email us. You won't have access to it, but we've given you our emails. You can email us, and we'll make the change. Okay? One of the huge things, we know statistically that kids that are involved are more apt to have better grades and finish school on time. So we encourage them to get involved in activities. Rockport-Fulton has a number of UIL, spelling, math, science, the Spanish club, of course, athletics, student council, BPA. It won't be until the spring semester that they can look at National Honor Society. So their sophomore year is when Honor Society will pick up. But be it ROTC, and we have an outstanding ROTC program. They are building that. We're really excited about the future of our ROTC. They're making it more multidimensional so kids can develop leadership skills, have community service, and be part of ROTC, not just if they're on a drill team or a color bar. So it's going to have more leadership opportunities for it. As I said, we encourage them to get involved in some activity so that they feel a part. So we've given you kind of an overview. We've given you our email addresses. I know this is all new to you and you've got to take it home and absorb it. But if you would take time this evening to kind of do an overview with your child so that they have some idea. This is posted it will be posted tomorrow on our website. So you can go to the counseling website on the high school webpage, and you can see the PowerPoint that you have. Of course, you have it in your hands right now. But should your neighbor not have been able to make it tonight, you can help them out and tell them they can find it on the website. Okay? So that is predominantly, Ms. Russell. Did you have anything else?
No, just on, when we were looking back at the sheet that your kids are going to see tomorrow, you notice that there's 8 classes, there's 3 extra blanks. Those are going to be our alternative electives. So if we get in and say your child wants to go manufacturing and the IWC class is full for freshmen, well, those are the classes that we'll have to go to fill in that because they can't. We only have classes, if we have 3 IWC classes, that will be, about 60 kids, 40 kids at the most. So if we have 100 kids trying to get into IWC, we have to go where the teacher is then going to make them fill out an application, and the students will be picked based on that application. So make sure, it's very important that they fill out those 3 extra spaces down there with electives. Just so that, you know, if something happens and we can't fit it in their schedule, we aren't guessing what they want to take. We're actually going to give them something that they are still interested in.
And I think that's critical. Please don't let them just put down what their friends want, because they need to know that if they put it as an alternate, there's a chance they're going to get it. So they need to be happy with it.
And we'll pick
Because,
them in the row, 1, 2,
Yeah.
3. So, I mean, we're not going to pick number 3 if number 1 works. So just make sure they're putting it in their most liked, their most liked.
and remember when schedules are run, they are run by the computer. We build a master schedule, all the requests, which is the stage we're at now. The requests are put in. The computer first will schedule their core classes. Then it will go down. It has a system. It's put in which order to schedule the classes. So if they have a conflict, because they may want a class, which is what we call a singleton, that's only offered once a day, that conflicts with their band class. So it would automatically go down to their alternate, and it would schedule there if they can't schedule, or we will be hand scheduling it. So I want them to make sure that their alternate choices are in line with what classes that they want to take. Online registration will close on February, can you go to that slide, please? February 3rd. It's dated out on me. And then the last time, after we get all the requests in and they run the master schedule and we get all the kids scheduled, it will be available to you to view on Skyward. And you have until June 3rd, the last day of class, to request any schedule changes. And it's real important, there are so many reasons. When they come to high school, because high school does not allow them to change as much as they've changed in younger years, because we just don't have that flexibility. We're now into an attendance issue and some other things, and they're too far behind. You want your child starting day 1 in the class they're going to be in. So that's the reason that you have until the end to select those courses, and make sure that you've looked at it, you're good with it, and that we're set to go on day 1 of the first year of the freshman year, first day of the freshman year.
When do you anticipate those being available on Skyward? How long does that process take?
It takes a while to do a master schedule and stuff. I think you're probably looking after spring break.
Okay.
I would say, fair enough. I would say by April and stuff.
April or May?
April or May. If we had, and I will tell you, if we had a person that was just doing a master schedule, that could be a full-time job. But the master schedule is done by administrators that also have many other responsibilities and stuff, and they do a really excellent job on it here. And coming into it this year, I thought they did a really good job on the master schedule. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so they have to do a career pathway,
Yes, ma'am. They have to declare a career pathway
and these are
and
the.
take the coursework with it. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
There is some flexibility in that career pathway though. So, they have to stay on that pathway, but there is some flexibility in some of their electives that they take.
Now, remember, I told you that they have 8 periods a day. And how many credits did I tell you they need? 26. They take 8 periods for 4 years. How many does that give them? 32. So there is room enough for them to do a career pathway and have an option to take some of the electives that they may just want to take because they're interested in it or it's fun. And as y'all know, if they're an athlete, that's a whole 4 years. So that's going to take 4 spaces out of their schedule for 4 years. Same thing with band. So that's the reason we want, and she'll be working with them, we want them to plan around that. Yes, ma'am.
2 years ago when my son in freshman year, he didn't fit the career pathway. Now I think he said it's too late. So another category that kind of did a little bit of everything. Is that category available still? I can't remember what they called it, but they put him in because he didn't want to be a welder, he didn't want to be in law enforcement, he didn't want to be in health. He wanted to be a teacher and a coach, and he just didn't really fall into those categories. So is there something else for those students who don't want to be put in a box?
What we've asked them to do, we do have a lot of students that are just like that. But what we've asked them to do is with these career pathways, the one that they choose, it's going to give them first dibs on those elective classes that go along with it. So even though he wants to be a teacher, he may love to eat. So we're going to say, hey, you know what, maybe hospitality and tourism, because then you take culinary arts and you get to eat good food all day. So it's not necessarily that they're knowing they're going to go into that career, but it may be that, hey, you know, this kind of looks like fun. I may want to do that, you know. I may want to weld on the side, or I may want to one day fix a truck. You know, that's not what I'm going to do for life, but it may be something that's interesting to me to do.
But it does give them, I think the key element she said is that those kids will get those classes
Yeah,
first.
I mean, it's,
If it's their pathway,
you
they'll
want
get
it, that's,
scheduled first.
you get those tips out.
And so choosing the beginning class their freshman year of one that they may want to go into, because unless you have that beginning class, you can't, you're kind of in a bind to get everything in.
Do you give the students a description of the type of career it is? Or do you just, I mean, is there a description that you give them so that they understand what they're getting into? And is that available for parents?
It's not in here, it shows your career pathways in the classes. Each class will have a description. The career pathway, like health science, for example, each class will have a different description to it. It's in here.
But there's not an overall description that you give the students?
Not of the career pathway.
So we should go home and explain what each of these careers entail?
We can.
We do have, if you will go to our website, the counseling website, there is a PowerPoint that we did on endorsements, and which it covers some information on each one of them. So each one of those pathways, yes, on the career pathway, but I think it's listed under endorsements, the name of the PowerPoint. But it goes through principles of hospitality and what all electives and what careers you can go into. It has Joanna and Chip Gaines in there, a picture of them. If you find Joanna and Chip, you're in the right place, because that was the architecture and construction. Then it says you take these classes to get this pathway.
Well, and the other thing that I did with them, we did a personality test, we did an interest inventory, we looked at careers that were good matches for both. We did online and they did some exploration of all of those careers. And they have a sheet and they're going to have access to those folders Thursday and Friday in the computer lab when they're choosing. And at the bottom of that sheet, which is the best fit career pathway. So I kind of tried to help them choose some of those career pathways.
Is it possible that I get access to what you tested my son on and what
If you
that
just email me, I can
information
give
is?
you copies of those.
Yes, sir.
Do we have to start planning for what kind of graduating senior they want to be, whether it's distinguished or honored? Does that need to happen with this? Like, they need to take 3 Spanish?
That was on the old program.
Okay, so that's not anymore.
There is some upper level things, but that we'll cover that with them once we get them on campus, because it won't affect them the first year. Okay.
What if they're wanting to do like dual credit during high school? How does that?
That will come into play at the end of their freshman year. Ms. Edmonds, who's our college and career person, she will meet with the freshmen because they cannot take dual credit for their sophomore, junior, senior year. So she will meet with them. They'll fill out a little form that says I'm interested in taking dual credit, and then she meets with them individually to set all that up and down line.
And then they take a TSI exam to see if they're college ready. There's certain requirements that the college says they must score high enough on TSI in order to take them.
But yeah, she takes full control of that.
She will take care of all of that once they're on campus. But their freshman year, we do not have any dual credit classes.
Jackie.
Yes, ma'am.
Do they do away with the math, science, STEM, endorsement?
We do not offer that, the only ones that we offer are right here. And if you're asking me, did the state do away with it? There are a lot of endorsements out there, and I will tell you, it depends on the high school that you're in, because it's what that high school has the ability to offer, on that campus. If you go to a metropolitan high school that has 6,000 kids and has a lot of different programs, or they're a magnet school, they may have different programs. I came out of San Antonio, and I was at Madison, so we had the Ag Magnet, and we had other endorsements we could offer, but we couldn't offer the data one because that was another magnet school. So we couldn't offer that. So each high school, the state has a whole slew of them, but it's determined by your personnel and what you have the ability to offer students. Yes, ma'am.
Kind of like, for people wanting to go.
So my kids are going to study engineering, and is there, like, for example, I saw the computer science classes, would that be the,
There will be room for them to take that, yes, ma'am.
what endorsement is that?
It's not going to fall under an endorsement area per se, but they're going to be able, I would say, and you will hear us, we want kids to, if they're looking at college, rule of thumb is, especially if they're going in math and science, you want to take all the math and science because you can take some of those upper levels as electives. So you can get in additional math and science.
Would they do that instead of a career pathway?
They have to have a career pathway that they're following. That's what the legislature, they have to circle one.
But they don't have to take these classes?
They're gonna run into conflicts, and then we work through it.
So all the testing that you've done for their personality and to fit them, do they fit into these categories?
Ms. Rowe, I'll let you answer that.
What we're trying to do is come up with a best fit, if you will, okay? And so they've looked at careers, and so what they've come up with when they look at all 5 career pathways is the best fit, okay? And some of these, the career pathways we're able to offer in Rockport, Texas, it might be kind of using your imagination a little bit and filling in with electives on those career pathways.
Well, I'm just asking, if the testing that you've done with their personalities and what their exploration of careers are, did you only give them these options?
Well, no, with their careers, they have multiple, many options.
Okay,
And then when you want to go to ONET with your kids, they know all the careers they're going to be exploring. They can go to their website and talk about it and visit that website. There are tons and tons of careers that they explore. But with what we have to offer here, they've got to choose a career pathway. It's a vehicle to get them where they want to be, basically.
yes, I was just seeking to understand how this all came together.
Well, I've got to say, we're really fortunate in Rockport because your school district recognized this early on, and they saw this as an important issue long before it got to this point. So Ms. Edmonds has been working with your kids from elementary school giving exposure to careers. I'm sure y'all have seen some of that work that's been done through the years. So introducing careers was not just introduced this year. That's been out there. I'm sure you remember the projects from elementary school and the things that they would do there. But I would encourage, it's rare that any high school is going to be here. The reality of it is, the careers that your kids are going into may not even exist with technology today. When you look at how much careers have changed in 5 years, technology changes a lot. And so I don't know if we could ever keep pace with technology, but I think exposure and having these kids, but I really want to stress, with the opportunity for 32 credits, your child is going to be okay on a pathway and taking the coursework that they want to excel in, be it an extra math, be it a science, there's a lot of computer classes, and as you know, our world functions off of computers, so they can never get enough exposure to a computer. There is still room, even in the aspect of they may be committed to band or athletics or something like that, but we have AP courses in art if they go further, if they're an artist. They still will get to take those courses and take care of this too. There's opportunity for between 26 and 32. Yes, ma'am.
So,
Yes, ma'am. She could get that, by completing that, she could get the certificate for that, but that, no, she doesn't have to take that test. She has to be in those courses, but those courses would enable her if she wanted to be. And I would say the one that I think is very beneficial, and I'm giving you my opinion, is CNA is a good solid one, but pharmacy tech is a higher salary that might be something she could do while going through college, you know, without dusting the dollars. Yeah. And the thing that you have to remember is when they take those upper level health science classes, they have to, there's a period in there just to transport them over there. So it takes 3 when you get to health science too.
Is there a certification at each, after each course or pathway is finished?
Yes.
Okay, is it in the book?
Take the advance. Yes, ma'am. It'll tell you what, such as welding. They have one, so you'll see that in
yeah, it's
there.
on that page 33. At the very bottom of it, it'll say what they're gonna earn if they finish the whole coursework on that.
So there again is a way for them to get additional education.
Well, and the other thing about those career pathways is it also offers what we call career technology education credits. So they take those courses with us in high school. They can go to Del Mar or other schools and get that credit as well. So they may be halfway through an associate's degree, like we said. So they're getting lots of credits in different ways. Career technology education.
Was there anything else we could answer for you this evening? I know that you may have further questions, and I'm going to come back and answer you. But please, we want you to feel free. If you leave here and you're in the parking lot and you think, oh, I wanted to ask this, or if you're looking at this tonight as we go through this, please, our emails are up there, or you can find them on the website. Contact us at any point through email, and we'll get back to you and try to answer all your questions. We want you, your counselors here are good. We have spent a lot of time with Gail, so she's pretty well versed in all of this. And then your teachers will be hearing all of this with them, because they'll be with us tomorrow as well. But if we can be of assistance, we want you to make this transition smoothly as well as your child. And we certainly appreciate y'all coming out this evening. That's all we have unless you have something else. Because you do not want me to sing a song at the end, so. But that lady does need to sing. Yes, ma'am.
Just the online registration thing or just for the students?
We will do that with them, yeah, because it's not open.
Oh, yeah.
Okay?